everybody and welcome to today's video. We are doing something a little bit differently today with this video. I've said before that I wanted to start movie commentaries, so here we are. I'm starting movie commentaries off with Interstellar, one of my favorite movies of all time. It's actually been a while since I've seen this movie, but it's still like one of my favorites. I actually remember watching this in one of my science classes, like that's how I was like first introduced to it. My science teacher was like, okay, we're just gonna watch like a movie about space and that's gonna be the lesson. I always like, you know, space things. I have my little stickers up here. I have posters. You guys can't see them. See, I have posters. I'm really into space. I love anything space themed. I'm also reading a book about space. The first time I've ever read like a sci-fi fiction book about space. I don't know if it's good or not. I just started it. So this movie was already like a plus for me. Plus it's just like really good. And it's also directed by Christopher Nolan, which he is a very good director. He's probably one of my favorite directors. The Nolan brothers in general, I think they're some of my favorite writers and directors in the Hollywood business. Jonathan Nolan is also a writer for this movie, but he is the creator of Westworld, the TV show, which is one of my favorite TV shows. So I'm really into the Nolan brothers because they have created some really good stuff in their careers. And I really like that they're writers too, because I want to be a writer. So like they really are inspiring. But this movie I think is like my favorite one from them. Just because, you know, it's really good, but it's also about space. I'm excited about this movie just because I haven't seen it in a long time, but also I just want to talk about it because I love talking about space and the Nolan brothers, and this is honestly like the greatest combination of a movie you could ever have. So let's go ahead and start watching it. I don't know why I did that. That was really weird. Let's go ahead and start watching it. There, like a damn normal person. Oh, it's already so quick. It just barely started and I'm like, oh, it's so good. If there was anything that I would ever be in my life other than what I am right now, which is basically nothing, it would be an astronaut, I think. Or like, because I'm really into astrophysics, I would probably be an astrophysicist if I was ever to choose a different career path. Oh look, it's Renesmee. I kind of feel sorry for the actress because like she's never gonna live past that.
Our nose now, so we wouldn't read so much of it.
I do like how they're doing the
Set the plate upside down. Glass and cups, whatever it was, upside down.
I like how they're doing the documentary-esque style in the beginning because it makes it seem more real.
Repopulating the earth. Start pulling your weight, young man.
Oh.
She's starting to your own business. Oh man.
Yeah, really. Wait. Why would you want to repopulate? I mean, I get it. But like, that is some horrible conditions you'd be living in.
We got Tom's scores back.
This is also wild to me.
He's gonna make an excellent farmer.
It's like, what's that one series? It's not Hunger Games. Hold on, Divergent. It's like, it's kind of like that. Like you have to test into like a certain career. Like, okay, he's not smart enough to be anything else, so he has to be a farmer. And like that's the only career path he can have. Because in this future or universe, it's like you don't have the opportunities.
We run out of food.
Yeah.
The world needs farmers. Good farmers like you and Tom. Uneducated farmers.
He's got a point. Like I understand. Like you do, if you're running out of food, you do need like farmers, but to a certain extent, you know, like if the ground is bad and you can't plant anything and it's not giving you anything, like what else can you eat? Like more farmers isn't going to help that.
It's an old federal textbook. We've replaced them with the corrected versions.
Corrected.
Explaining how the Apollo missions were fake to bankrupt the Soviet Union.
That's another issue
You
too.
don't believe we went to the moon?
I believe it was a brilliant piece of propaganda that the Soviets bankrupted themselves, pouring resources into rockets and other useless machines.
His face.
The machines they used to make was called an MRI.
Mm-hmm.
And if we had any of those left, the doctors would have been able to find a cyst in my wife's brain before she died instead of afterwards. And then she'd have been the one sitting there listening.
You know, believe what you want to believe about like space travel and the moon landing and all that. Whatever your theories are, that's up to you, you know, if you believe it or not. But the truth is, a lot of useful inventions have come out of that. Like if you look up like NASA, like what they've invented a lot of shit that is like useful right now.
Well, we used to look up in the sky and wonder at our place in the stars. Now we just look down and worry about our place in the dirt.
I like that. That was really good. Good quote.
It's not Morse, or if it's binary. Thick is 1, thin is 0.
Oh. Bro, I do not remember any of this. How can you not take her along? Oh, that's right. He leads himself to the bait. You're right. You're right. You're right. Oh my god.
Don't you know who we are, Coop? No, Professor, I know.
Father, Professor Brown. We're NASA.
Oh. Why did I forget this?
Cold. Will die.
Yep.
Soon.
Mm-hmm.
We'll find a way, Professor. We always have.
Life finds a way. Listen, Merv, I'm sorry, but I gotta go. It's hard to say goodbye to your children because it's like, for him, there's a possibility that you're never gonna see him again. But it's like, how can you not leave? Because you know what's gonna happen.
They chose me.
They...
Chose me. You saw it. You're the one who led me to it.
One thing that I really like is that they keep throwing around this they, and it's like very ominous. Like, who's they?
Maybe by the time I get back, we might even be the same age. Me? What? Imagine that.
That scared the heck out of me. Heck no.
I love you. Forever. You hear me? I love you forever.
This is a really sad scene.
Back. 8, 7, 2, 1. Boost your ignition
And lift off. Oh, imagine doing that. Like, I've been on an airplane before, but not like that.
100% X might.
Ooh. I love how they create like this atmosphere because I kind of feel like I'm.
Your father.
Lock?
Target locked? Target locked. Well done.
Okay.
See, I just noticed some like nice subtle things in his directing. Like whenever it's like when the lock thing goes off, there's like no noises. But then when you're inside the spacecraft, you can hear it. That's another thing I really like about Christopher Nolan. He's good with the details. And it's the details that do matter. You know, when I first watched this, I wasn't so sure about the design of the robot, but now it kind of makes sense because of the way that it maneuvers. Like, look at that. I don't know, that just kind of like blows my mind. Like, this is real. Like, this is out there. I could go on and on all day about talking about space, honestly. I really love watching things about space.
So they say you want to go from here to there. But it's too far, right? Mm-hmm. So a wormhole bends space like this. So you can take a shortcut through higher
Like
dimension.
that. Yes. How many times have I seen that in the movie or show? I've definitely seen that in Stranger Things. Oh, that is so weird. Oh, I mean, it makes sense. Like, that's how a wormhole would be. Kind of reminds me of, like, the Space Mountain ride. It's not at all like that, but I just wanted to say it. I mean, kind of. It's like a roller coaster. Yeah. Man, that'd be so cool. Oh my gosh, look at that. That is crazy. It'd be so cool to go through a wormhole. That's what I want for Christmas. I want to go through a wormhole.
Space beyond our 3 dimensions. All you can do
Space
is
beyond the 3 dimensions. Yeah, you can't, yeah. Sit back, relax, enjoy the ride. Like, would you feel that? Or is it just your perception? Like, oh, and again, listen to how silent it is. And then you get the noise. I love that. Look at that. That's the black hole. And they just got a picture of that, like I think either last year or something like that. The very first picture of an actual black hole. And it looks very similar to that. Isn't that crazy? Oh my god, it's literally right there. Oh hell no, I'm sorry, that's too scary for me. I'll go through a wormhole, but not a black hole. I hear the things that happen to you when you go through a black hole. Heck no. Like the ticking. Makes you more anxious, which you definitely need to be for this scene. The ticking really helps with that in the background. I think you already know that this planet is uninhabitable. Like, let's go. Girl, come on. Come on. Look at that. Oh, the music. So good. Yeah, see, okay, that's where, like, the design comes in handy.
Get up, Brad. Go, go, go.
Why isn't he like... Oh. This scene does make me kind of angry.
Go, go, go.
Wow, he was fast. Like, why did he take so long to get in? He could have easily got in there if he wasn't so stupid. Whee! Let's ride the waves. See, I'm absolutely terrified of our ocean right now. Imagine a planet that is only ocean. Like, heck no, I'm sorry.
How's the wreckage stay together after all these years, huh?
Because of the time slippage. On this planet's time, she just landed hours ago.
That's right.
Probably just died minutes ago.
The data Doyle received was just
That
the
is,
initial status.
see again, that like blows my mind about the whole time thing. Like, even though this happened like years ago, it's like for her it only happened like minutes ago. Like, it's just blows my mind. I can't. And it's real. Like, it's so crazy.
You once told me that when you came back we might be the same age. And today I'm the age you were when you left.
Oh, okay, it's rough. It's rough. I'm tearing up a little bit. Okay, it was a rough one. That was rough.
It has to mean something.
Love has meaning. Yes, social utility, social bonding, child rearing.
We love people who have died. Where's the social utility in that?
Memories? I don't
Maybe
know.
it means something more, something we can't
Comprehend.
yet.
Yeah.
And it's some evidence, some artifact of a higher dimension that we can't consciously perceive. Love is the one thing we're capable of perceiving that transcends dimensions of time and space.
True. But does it always lead you in the right direction? But wasn't she right though? I say this like, I don't know about that, but I think she was right. Because wasn't Dr. Mann the...
Dr. Mann.
Yeah, Dr. Mann wasn't a good guy. Maybe we should have listened to her. Okay.
Forgive me, but
There's nothing to forgive.
Oh, don't be so sure about that.
there was no need for you to come back. There was no way to help us.
But Bunny, all this.
Did he leave me?
What a little turd. He couldn't even tell her that. Yeah, and then he pieced out after that. Like, wow, okay.
Survival instinct is our single greatest source of inspiration. Take you, for example. A father with a survival instinct that extends to your kids.
Uh-huh.
What does research tell us is the last thing you're gonna see before you die?
Is that a threat?
The children. Their faces. At the moment of death, your mind's gonna push a little bit harder to survive. For them.
He was like, what the heck are you doing?
No.
No! Dr. Mann, in a 50-50 chance you gotta kill yourself.
Those are the best thoughts I've had in years.
Me, Cooper. You were never tested like I was. Human habit.
Don't even with that bull crap. Oh my gosh, that makes me so angry.
I'm sorry, I can't watch you go through this. I'm sorry. I thought I could, but I can't.
Oh my god. Why would you sabotage? Like, it... I guess it kind of like, he's gone crazy. Like, we are social animals, so like, being alone for that long, it is gonna drive somebody crazy. I get that. But he, you know, you're the one who signed up for it, for one thing. You knew what you were getting into. You should have considered the possibilities that you were gonna land on an uninhabitable planet. And really what you're doing is risking the whole fate of humanity. I don't remember explosion. Oh my gosh, my memory, not the greatest.
Hatch logout disengaged.
See, this is one thing that I do like about this movie is like they show like the bad side of like that human survival instinct, because you have like kind of like the good side, pioneer explorer side of that survival with like this group, and then the kind of negative side of that with Dr. Mann, and how that survival instinct can drive you to do crazy and terrible things.
And then we can talk about completing the mission.
Okay, that's fine, just don't open the air hatch.
About all mankind, there is a moment.
Oh, I love how it's silent. So he has to like match the spin and then align it and then lock it and then somehow stop the spinning. Like, look at that. Oh. It just blows my mind that there's like, that's literally out there somewhere, you know? So he was literally teleported into another dimension. That would be so crazy. Like, how would you even be able to like perceive that? Like, if you were in his position, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm in a different reality. I mean, a different dimension. Like, how? I don't know. I think my brain would be malfunctioning. Yeah, and look at that. Like, you're in the past. What if you did things differently? Would that change? Could you change reality? Oh my gosh, see, there's the questions. The questions start rolling in. Like, what if he decided not to write stay because he knew he was supposed to? So what if he's like, okay, what if I don't write stay? And that means that I will end up staying? Like, does he remember exactly what he has to do? Or is it just like an instinct to do those things and that's how it happened in the past? The whole idea, it's a paradox, you know? It's like, well, it's just so trippy to think about.
They didn't bring us here at all.
You brought yourself.
We brought ourselves.
See, isn't that crazy?
All of this, the one little girl's bedroom, every moment. It's infinitely complex. They have access to infinite time and space, but they're not bound by anything. They can't find a specific place in time. They can't communicate. That's why I'm here.
I'm with you.
Find a way to tell Nerf, just like I found this moment.
How?
Yeah.
Love, Taj, love. It's just like Brand said. My connection with Nerf, it is quantifiable. It's the key.
What are we here to do?
Send a message. Isn't that so weird? Oh no, he's, yeah, and then it was him. They sent him back. Oh my god, it's, did I just catch something? Is it supposed to be like that Michelangelo painting with like God and like the finger? It kind of reminds me of that. I don't know if it is, but it just kind of reminded me of that. And like there is a whole kind of religious undertone to this with the whole Lazarus thing. Maybe, I don't know. Imagine your child being older than you. Like, he missed out on so much of her life.
Your parents should have to watch their child die.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
I have my kids here looking in.
Oh. So does he have to go through like another wormhole?
Right now, she's settling in for the long nap.
Bro, we should have got a sequel to this. Oh my gosh. I would totally watch a sequel. I know probably Christopher Nolan isn't into that idea, but... See, the one thing that I really like about this movie is that there's so many questions. And it's really mind-blowing, honestly. Because like a lot of this is like real, you know? Like wormholes, those are a thing. Black holes, those are a thing. Different dimensions, like how do we perceive different dimensions? We can only perceive the third dimension and anything past that, but we know they exist, so how would we know what they look like? And I do like how they explain, like, it's like the fifth dimension, but they made it in like 3D so that we could perceive it a little bit better, so we can understand it, even though it's still freaking crazy. There's so many elements to this movie that I really like. So I really like that the whole basis of this movie, like it just gets you to think about like a lot of things. Like, for example, in the beginning of the movie, whenever we're all on Earth and we're seeing basically like the downfall of Earth, the dust, the lack of food, overpopulation, all of these different factors, it opens up like a discussion of like today's climate, you know, whatever your opinion is on that. Makes you think about like, okay, what are we doing to the earth right now, and is this a possible future for us if we keep going in the direction that we're going? I really like movies that I get to see you to think and opens up a discussion about certain topics like that might be hard for some people to try to discuss or even think about. Like, okay, we're doing all these bad things to our planet. Is there possibly one day where our planet is going to start turning against us? Which, I mean, if you watch the news, yeah, that's kind of happening right now. So it's like, in the future, are we going to be this bad, like so bad that we can't even grow food for ourselves? Is that how bad it's gonna get? To that point, do we have the correct or right technology to be able to go out into space and hopefully search for a new planet to survive on? I know right now we're looking at Mars. Mars, next door neighbor. It's not exactly ideal, but we could make it work, you know? Is there like a better option out there? You know, if there's a wormhole that appears next to freaking Saturn or Neptune or something like that, are we going to be able to get into a spacecraft, fly there, and hopefully make it even through the wormhole and ploop out on the other side? And that also brings up technology again, like a great discussion on like, should we spend more money on NASA or something like that to explore space? Because like I said, you know, whatever opinion you have about space is your opinion. One thing I do have to say about NASA is that they have created some great inventions that we use right now. MRI. Good point of making. If it wasn't for the actual robot that they had, TARS, if he wasn't able to go through a black hole and get that data, they wouldn't have, you know, survived anything at all. So is it like necessary for us to invest in that type of technology, in AI? Because I know I'm terrified of AI, but is that necessary? And then there's the other stuff too. The other half of the movie where it's like it just gets crazy, and like your perception on time and space, and getting into that. I know like some people who can't comprehend that time isn't linear. Like they see time as linear and they can't perceive anything past that. So that's like another thing that like this movie makes you think about, is like, okay, what if time isn't linear? Which it isn't, by the way. But like for those people, like if time isn't linear, like how does that work? How does the bending of time work? Like I know some people who don't understand the idea of stars and like the fact that like, oh yeah, those stars are dead. They've died millions of years ago. And they're like, what? But why are we seeing it right now? You know, it's like things like that, like they can't perceive the idea of like time and space and all that. Another thing that it just, not even just like sciencey stuff, but also like emotional stuff, like the idea of love and the fact that it can transcend time and space, and like it's like one of the most powerful forces out there, which I completely agree with. I think the human mind is probably one of the most interesting things. I think I agree with like Anne Hathaway's character. Like it's something we can't even, like, it's beyond our perception right now what exactly love is, and that emotional connection that we form with other people and how it can exist throughout time and space. And then there's like the whole survival thing. What would you do in certain people's situations? Would you be more like Dr. Mann, or would you be more like Cooper? Trying to put yourself in that position, like, oh, how would I be if I was like the lone voyager staking out a planet to see if my planet is habitable, and if it wasn't, what would I do in that situation? Or would you be more like Cooper and like sacrifice yourself for the greater good? And it's such a cool movie, I think. Very well written, and there's like a lot of small details. The writing, the directing, everything about it, like the movie itself is like really beautiful, like looking at it, plus also the ideas behind it. They have some really beautiful ideas, and some thought-provoking ideas, plus a lot of it is very true. They actually had like a consultant, like a physicist, there on set while they were filming this stuff to make sure that what they were showing was accurate, or at least as close to accurate as they could get. Like the picture that they got of the black hole looks very similar. I think this movie came out in like 2014 or something like that, and the picture of the black hole only came out very recently, like 2019. They actually finally caught an actual image of a black hole, and it looks, I mean, it's a little blurry, but it looks very similar to the black hole from this movie. So it's just so cool to me that, like, I don't know. scientific discoveries just make me really happy. I just really like watching, I don't know, watching movies like this, and it's like accurate, and it's just like, it just makes me happy. I don't know. Thank you for joining me on my little space adventure there with Interstellar. It's really fun watching it over again, especially since I haven't seen it in such a long time, so like I don't remember like a lot of things that are going on, plus it's like new details that I'm realizing, and I didn't realize it the first time that I was watching it, because like, to be fair, it was in my science class, the screen wasn't the best, I was in an uncomfortable chair, wasn't paying attention exactly the greatest, but I still remember it being a great movie. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. You can suggest any movies down below, and I will see you guys on a different video. So goodbye and have a nice life.